Good morning, my name is Captain Collins and this is the Virpil Cadet VMAX throttle. This is a full metal built analog throttle with extreme high build quality in, I would say, the middle range of your budget. We do compare this today with two other options, one $100 below and one $100 above. Virpil did a funny thing by announcing a budget option for their gear, calling it the Cadet series in a April 1st joke, but the community demanded that they should do this. And so Virpil thought, hey, you know what? Actually, this is a good idea. And this is one of the first things that they did, the Virpil Cadet VMAX throttle. It is the budget version of the other very great throttle here, the Mongoose. Let's start by the things that you get for your money. And we're talking about a throttle that costs around 200 bucks. You get 4 buttons, momentary push buttons, 2 at the back right there, 2 at the front right there. You do get 3 4-way heads, 2 at the back, 1 at the front. You do get 1 analog mini stick right there for your thumb. All those sticks and dials and whatsoever do have a push button too, which is very funny. With the 2 axis dials, they do have a limited range, so they do go around this one here with around 210 degrees and a middle setting. This one here at around 180 degrees, also with a middle setting. Both of those have buttons too, which is very funny for this one here at the top. And also this one has also a button, very nice. You do have 2 throttle axes that do work together, but there is a lever that also functions as a button, basically showing the software, which we're going to talk about later, that they are both connected or disconnected, and that way you can use those separately. There is another auxiliary axis here, which you can use for whatever you want. Usually those are for flaps if you are playing like flight simulations or whatsoever. You could also use this for trimming. Another feature, very nice, is very special for this throttle here, is the programmable LED, RGB LED, which can be an alarm or something else, or is an indicator for when you're at VMAX or if you are at VMin or whatever. There's another thing that they do not really advertise on the website, and this is the detent. The detents here are an indicator of where your throttle is. They are like a physical indicator that you are either at very far to VMAX or that you are really low. And those work as like bumps in your way. You could remove those. Those are just screwed in with a simple tool that is included. You can remove those detents and you have a very smooth throttle without those physical detents. Or you can change their position and also adjust where your physical feedback is. And I said at the start that this is a 200 bucks option, and I want to show you just very quick a 100 bucks option and a 300 bucks option. So for the 100 bucks we have the very popular Thrustmaster TWCS throttle. Is very known in the gaming space. It's part of the set of the T1600M. And this here is basically a throttle that works a little bit different, as this one here is more like around a rotating angle. This here has a straight angle, so it works forward and backward instead of doing a turn. You're very limited. You do not have detents or whatsoever. You do have a few dials which go, which are also limited in their direction. You have a few 3-way heads. It works okay. The precisiveness decides if you want to buy this thing here or if you want to go to the higher option, because the Virpil device is just so damn precise that if you are just moving it very slightly, you see in Microsoft Flight Simulator, for example, the changes of your percentage extremely fast. Like you think you're basically just touching it and it already changes a percent or something. Whereas to the Thrustmaster, it's first of all not that smooth. It's cheaper, it's full plastic and it works just like this one here. Could be another option just as a comparison. And if you go $100 up here with real physical detents, as you see there at the front, those two levers are your detent levers and they really work with physical force. So they are limiting your throttle. Very, very cool for flight simming, especially when you're flying like something like an Airbus or a Boeing or whatsoever, and you want to go into reverse thrust, then you are back at 0 throttle and then you pull up the levers and you go backwards and you go into reverse thrust. That is really, really cool. Also a flaps thing here and a lot more buttons, as you see, with some options with levers and dials, also unlimited dials, a mode switch and whatsoever, and more switches. You really want to think about how complex should your throttle be. Do you like something that is more simplistic and you're like overwhelmed with all the options here? Or if you don't really know what to do with all these buttons, I can totally understand that. Then this one here is giving you all the options that you need, but it's also $100 more. So the Cadet VMAX throttle is sitting in the middle ground and giving you precision for a budget. So this really budget-oriented option gives you all the precision you need for your everyday flight simming, space simming, or whatever you do with a throttle. It does not work very well for rotary wing simulations, therefore you would need something else. The main playground of this is definitely flight sim and space sim. So in total, great analog axis, great inputs. We have enough buttons, satisfying buttons, like, oh my god, you really need to push that button here. That's so satisfying. Dials and whatsoever with buttons inserted, analog sticks, 4-way heads, everything's there that you need. And the best thing about this here, compared to the Mongoose, to the higher option, is that you basically don't need to put your hands off this throttle. That makes it a great option for people that play, for example, in VR, because in VR, you will not need to take a look at the throttle or the entire device to push a button or whatsoever, because everything is already in your hand. And my hands are about medium to large size. They're hand size 7, and I do not have a problem to reach any of these things. Virpil Cadet VMAX throttle, I think they did a great job for the budget that they accounted for this thing. So for $200, this is a great option. If you know better competitors, if you have questions about it, please let me know in the comments. And I'm very excited about doing more of these reviews. There will be also a review for the Mongoose throttle and for other sticks in the future. And thank you so much for being here in my new YouTube studio. I'm Captain Collins. I'm out. See you next time.